And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey. This is the late show. And excuse me, I'm quite under the weather. We weren't going to have a show at all because we're just hobbled up. Brad is biting the bullet right now and sitting up with his foot completely broken. I saw the x-ray. He sent it to me, and that bone is separated. I don't know how you're.
It's but then I found out I was hoping to go to Arkansas last weekend.
Yeah.
I saw the doctor on Friday, and he said, "Oh, the good news is you won't have to have surgery. The bad news is the bone right next to it, you have a stress fracture."
Yeah, you can see it.
I'm like, so I was deflated when I was listening to Kerry and Mark just have incredible, great time up in Arkansas. I mean, it's going to be so good when it comes out.
Yeah, we got confirmation. For me, I was already sure when I listened to Pam's story. I already knew she had seen it.
Oh yeah,
But
I mean, we had her on the Late Show. Yeah,
the confirmation that they were still around came for me because I didn't get to see them on thermal the first night. We caught that. Mark has actually reviewed it already, and he said it's just two hominoids peeking up over the bank, looking at them from 60 yards away. Yeah,
that is so cool.
while we were live, I was up the hill live, but for me, it was standing at the tailgate of my truck, and I was eating hot dogs. It was lunchtime, so I was eating
Those
out
good
of.
hot dogs.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
not
that
the
would
good
be
hot
too
dog.
cruel. That would be too cruel.
Not the, no, I only bought a case of those, and those are all yours. They're in the deep freeze now. Um, no, this is
Oh,
stuff
Lord.
Mark and I bought when we left Tennessee. We stopped at Walmart and got ourselves, the sandwich and the quick stuff we could eat for a couple days. So that's what we did. Put it in the Yeti and got some ice and jetted. And so I was eating out of that. Though Pam and Paul both cooked for us. The first night they had deer meat and the best mashed potatoes
Oh,
that
really?
I wasn't supposed to have, but I had anyway, and green beans, and yeah, but that deer meat,
You're
man,
killing me, man.
it was. I mean, it's Arkansas.
Well, yeah, but and that's why I couldn't watch the lives because it pissed. I'm sorry, I cussed. It pissed me off so much that I could not be there. I did not want to watch it. I just couldn't do it.
Sorry about that. I vowed not to clear my throat in the microphone tonight because I did it about 75 times the other night. It was really bad. So I'll pause it before I need to do that. I couldn't talk at all and decided,
Oh, earlier today you were like whispering.
yeah, it was bad. But, I'm married to a nurse, so I have to do what she says.
I understand.
Yeah. And I took a toddy. She said, just take a couple of sips of that. And I had a couple.
It's healing properties.
Yes. That's 148 proof shine.
Oh,
There's
shine.
water. I put water in it. Yeah. That's all I have
Oh,
here. I don't drink a whole lot. So
I love moonshine. Arr,
so if I
killing
have to
me worse.
if I have to drink a toddy, uh, that's it
Oh,
right there. So I took a couple of those and it cleared up pretty good. Still,
it
I
will
don't know.
set you free. It will set you free.
It's watered down pretty good.
Yeah,
So.
but still, it is. There's nothing better than shine. Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Well, yeah, there is. But
Boy, does it clear you up and open up your chest. Just don't overdo it. Anything in moderation, except moderation. You want to do that all the time.
oh yes, wise one. Well, oh,
That's
wise one.
true. Is that not true?
Well, I mean that's why I watched the first 3 minutes and then I was like I can't do it because it just twisted me off so bad. And then of course the next night you're on Daniela's, and so that just was
Yeah. I
it's
promised her.
just,
I
oh,
promised her we'd do that.
yeah, but I knew y'all were gonna have the best time. I mean, I just knew it.
Yeah, it was all so much work. I came home with 400 gigs of footage, and that's not counting what we shot with Mark's other 3 cameras. That's just what I shot with this camera right here. I've been uploading footage all day. And got it, and everything that I recorded really good. So it all looks really well. And but Mark's got the other camera like this. It's actually better than this. This is the XA50. This is the XF400, and his shoots 4K and 60 frames per second. This one shoots 4K at 30. But we shoot at 1080p in 29.5 because it gives it a cinema look and not a sitcom look. You know.
Well, you didn't have to use the long distance one just because it was so.
No, we got to use it quite a bit.
Oh, you did get okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, because you could see 200 yards to the other side of the power line from the back of their house in places there were cedar trees through there. But we definitely that last day, the tactic we used on the last day was the 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock tactic on the creek bed. We just went up the creek because it was cool. And we figured, where else are they going to be when it's blazing hot, but in the cool? So we hit the creek and filmed all the way up it, did segments, found big, what looked like could have been tracks in the creek bed, in the rocks. You know, it could have been anything, but
just like sunk in and everything was.
Yes. But, go for a ways and then stop and turn and shoot at 5 o'clock. You know, this is your 12, shoot at your 5 o'clock, shoot at your 7 o'clock. Because if you're being followed, that's probably where you're being followed from. So we did that for half a mile up the creek. So got a lot of good stuff, found a lot of really interesting things there. The tree structures that we found, there weren't a lot of them. But there was one that we couldn't debunk it. We just couldn't figure out how this happened. There's the one in the middle is between everything and suspended off the ground. It looks like it was obviously manipulated, but we found almost the exact same thing, only smaller by the road. So it's kind of, whether it means anything or not, I don't know, but they were a good distance apart, 300 plus yards from each other on either ends of the property. And it's all, we filmed it all. It's what happened out there and then what's happening out there. I think it's really going to open people's eyes.
Well, they're just so isolated, right? I mean,
yeah,
incredibly isolated.
Yeah, it's a cabin in the hills,
which is just sounds heavenly, actually.
Oh, it's beautiful.
A cabin with a pool. I mean, what else do you need? I love that. I think that's
a shed and a workshop, and he cuts his own lumber. I mean,
oh, really?
They've got. Yeah.
So does he have like a chainsaw mill or?
It's not a chainsaw mill. It's a bandsaw mill.
Oh, wow. So it's like serious.
Yeah. Cuts his own timber off his own property and builds whatever they built that whole place.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
8 months, they said. And I mean, you'll get to see it because we have to do a follow-up with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We're going to be sending them a recorder and some lights.
Oh my God. I can't wait to go up there.
Yeah. Pam is really seriously affected by this. And I think the more she can get used to them and paying attention to what they do and maybe start to pattern them a little bit, that she can start to feel a little bit better about being, about them being around, because, running them off.
It just can aggravate it.
Who knows?
Well, let me ask you this. When I talked to you on your way back, I mentioned, did you feel more comfortable up there since it was more Mississippi-like? And I mean, big hardwoods and and stuff like that than Florida, which was a whole different terrain.
Well, actually, Donnie Miller's was more Mississippi-like than up
Southern
there.
Mississippi, like, right?
Yeah,
I know where
Pines.
we had land, or my father-in-law had land up in Baden. That was before the Delta, and so it was a real hilly, a lot of huge hardwoods, and it was just spooky and all get out in there.
Arkansas before are up that high is there's no pine trees hardly. I mean, you'll see a few, but it's all hardwood.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there were a few pine trees in there, but it's not like here where it's pine trees, and then in the bottoms you'll see hardwoods and sweet gum trees and bay trees and and things like that, where it's a little bit cooler. But the pines just take over everywhere else here, so it wasn't that. I prepared a little better this time. Had really high expectations, which seems counter to what you probably should do, but not for me.
Right.
I go in expecting a lot to be happening, so if not a lot's happening, it's just better for me. But getting back to what I was saying earlier, how we got off track from it.
I diverged.
Yeah, standing back of my truck was the confirmation for me. When I heard those yells, it was 5 yells. It took about 3 minutes for them all to happen, but it was from 5 different directions. Hadn't heard anything like it since we've been there. Had heard a few things like oh and growl. And Pam heard clear the first evening, and then after it got dark was the from the same direction. Mm-hmm. That demonic throaty thing they do. But when I heard those yells, and it's because it was either people or it was Sasquatch. It was no other way. It could be anything else. And there are no people out there. There's no people out there. There's nobody out there. I mean, within a couple of 100 yards of us. And it's just like they were all in place watching.
But they're so far, they're isolated that what's their closest neighbor?
I don't know. A couple miles, maybe. Yeah. Or it's hard to tell. Over the hill, I'd say maybe half a mile is the closest neighbor. But they're on the other side of a steep hill and back. They're back there a good distance, and they don't even know who they are. Pam and Paul, they're that far away. They don't even know them. So I mean, you get on the road, and it's 3 miles down a dirt road to get to their driveway, which is a dirt road.
Oh, see, that's again, it's like everything I imagined from the way you described it and the way that they described it. And, like my first concern was, how were you going to be there? But it sounds like it's getting a little easier.
That one was. But I don't want to get complacent. So
right.
We'll do the same thing every time. And say what you want. Call me a chicken.
There ain't no chicken about that.
It's just not that. It's just it's something that happened that affects me physically that I can't stop and I can't control. It was a panic attack. I don't know if you want to call it that, but there's only certain things that trigger it, and and that's one of them. So I mean, could it be some kind of panic disorder? Maybe, but if I prepare for it, I can help. I can prevent it. So
I think your
it's
body.
It's a condition. I have it. I have it. There's no hiding it when it's happening. So I figured if I'm going to be on camera out there in the woods, that's if I'm going to do this, and I said for 3 years, I would never do this.
Oh,
I remember saying it time after time after time. And I got 20 chigger bites on my legs.
Ooh, those are the worst.
Had, thank goodness for Pam and the lint roller. I rolled off about 40 seed ticks on my pants. Yeah. Those teeny tiny. Yeah. They're just they just bite. I think they don't think they carry anything deadly like Lyme. You know, they're
Right.
so little, but they're still bugs regardless. So we did get into the bugs, and the day it rained, the day I heard the yelling all around me, hey, hey, behind me, it was lower and then higher pitched, but it was something. It was loud, and then immediately out in front of me, oh, or hey, or it was a sound, but it was deeper. It was deeper, and then a long, woo, and then I saw Pam coming out. So I don't remember how that ended, but as soon while she was walking down, two whoops, whoops, whoop, whoop, over
Gosh.
to the left of that, just to the right of that. And then just to the right of that, a little further away, was another weird, the one I caught on camera, the last one. And I'm just standing there with my mouth open. And Pam's like, this is all the time.
That's
And I'm just, a hot dog hanging out of my mouth because I couldn't believe what was happening. So, and Mark's in the shower, Paul's gone to the store. I mean, it was the worst timing ever. No camera going, was eating lunch. So back to the always be filming
right.
thing. That's why I have so much footage, because I was filming the whole time, especially at night. So we did catch a lot of stuff, but it rained right after that, and then was gone. And then we did the same. We had her get in the pool while we sat back and filmed out into the bush.
Mm-hmm.
And she got in the pool and she was skimming the top, and she went to knock it on the side to knock the leaves and whatever out of the net. As soon as she did that, you heard that tree come down. Boom. And they sent me pictures of it today. They found it.
And how far was it?
It was a couple hundred yards, probably 250 yards. It was a ways off, but you could hear it clearly. It was a big tree. I couldn't have bear hugged it all the way around. It was that big. And I mean, it was rotted, but it was easy to push over. The dirt was lifted up.
So the root ball was up on it.
But yeah, it didn't just, there was a lot still connected there holding it up. So, but it was just too coincidental. Exact place I heard the second yell is where it was.
See, I just, and again, I'm so excited for what you guys got to go through. And then at the same time, I'm so pissed that I wasn't there, because it sounds like I just had that gut feeling that it was going to be good.
Well, we're going back. We're going to be doing a follow-up. So.
And you said that they were just the best host and hostesses, just so kind and basically sweet. I mean, they were just super great.
Well, everybody's going to get to meet them next Friday night.
That is true. That will be good.
Yeah, they're going to be right here. Brandon, I'm sorry, Brandon, I forgot your last name. Tolbert is going to be on Wednesday. He had a close-up encounter. So that'll be this Wednesday at 7. I don't know what Jackie and Daniela have planned for Sunday, but that's what's coming. And I'm glad that we were able to do the show. I was really not up to doing it. And I think Brad and I got to text and we were like, you know what, let's just do it. That's what we do.
Yeah, and I was checked out. And then I had a feeling you were going to send me, you want to do it? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's what was your favorite? Oh, thank you. What was your favorite? Memory or occurrence or what happened up there that just was
most memorable.
Yeah,
I think pretty memorable is going to be the walk Paul and I took at about 3 in the morning or so, 3:30, could have been later than that, 4. I can't remember. It was late in the wee hours. Paul and I took a walk together. I had the night vision camera up the trail. That sticks in my mind. Not a whole lot happened, but just that experience being out there and, you know, with Paul, and they didn't really know us. We didn't know them really, you know, for a couple of days. Seemed like wonderful people, you know, had talked and texted with them, but, you know, it's not like, you know, somebody you grew up with.
Right.
So it was, you know, being there with him and knowing that these things could be around. And there's no flashlight. It's just the light from the night vision you're following up the trail. So that was probably the most intense feeling out there. So that kind of stays with me. Hearing the yells, the deer meat, that's gonna stay with me. Yeah, I'll remember that.
I'm so jealous. Oh.
But it was a lot of work. We worked quite a bit, and we didn't manage our rest very well. And I think that's why I'm so broken down. That whatever is around.
You didn't get to sleep much at all. I mean, what'd you get, like 3 or 4 hours at a time?
Yeah.
If that?
Yeah. Intermittent sleep. And then constant sweat. I don't know how much weight I lost, but I probably needed it. But Pam and Paul were so accommodating for us, though. They just opened their house, let us use their shower and their bathroom, and
that's so kind. I mean, that's
stayed out with us. They stayed out with us every night.
Oh gosh, I'm so jealous. Yeah. That's, you know, I wanted to call, but then I didn't want to call. You know, that's why I caught you an hour when you were on the road, because I kind of figured out when you'd be driving back, and I'm like, you got to be a little past Memphis, and you're like, yep. I'm like, and you told me all about it. Oh, it's just, but see, that's what it's all about, though. That's what it's all about.
This story is going to be just the importance of it. I mean, I'm beside myself that we are the ones that get to tell this story. One of the channels, I can't remember if it's either Discovery or Animal Planet, or one of them, with a BFRO researcher wanted to come do their story. And they told him no. Kerry and Mark and Brad are coming. Well, and that just, man, that's why we had to bring it. And I think once they see, I don't think they're going to realize. No one ever has yet. They're like, wow, I didn't realize you got this much. I didn't know it was going to, when you were shooting it, I didn't know it was going to be like this. And that's my favorite part of the whole thing, is that they're not expecting what I'm going to put together here for them. And that's always been, you know, a real driving force for me in putting it together. So I'm looking forward to putting this one together. I'm almost done with the Crypto Reality Odyssey. I found my card. I got it uploaded here. I'll drive 13 hours to work tomorrow, get set up there, go to work on the film, get it done. The website will be ready. They're going to be waiting on me. So.
Well, I don't think people really understand in your mind work, the board work. You kind of know how you want to lay it out. And I remember you saying that, you know, what you typically do, this was 2 to 3 times more that you wanted, or that you knew you wanted, and then so much extra.
Yeah, there was just so much. It's so much an Odyssey. It's so fitting for us, you know, what Pam and Paul went through from, and I even put it in part of the intro. Mm-hmm. I wrote their intro while I was there, and I did it that day. Where did I write it?
You know, did you fly the drone at all?
No, we got to get part 107 done. But I had to do Linda's part. So, but what I didn't do on Linda's part was the very end. So this is their intro.
Oh, I got to say the intro sometimes.
Yeah.
Copeland's
intro.
And then Linda said I couldn't say it anymore.
I only did 2 takes on this one. You would have been proud. But it's on this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're in the Northeast Hills of Arkansas with Pam and Paul. Now, their Bigfoot Odyssey spans quite a few years, and between angry growls, tree breaks, strange lights, and loud knocks, this family has experienced it all. Had a full-on daytime close encounter, and their Bigfoot Odyssey became one that deserved a closer look. So, and then we had to shoot advertisements and commercials and clips for a sizzle reel to advertise for
South Mississippi moonshine,
Crypto Odyssey.
Yeah.
So
still, I mean, just that, you know, I mean, that's the kind of woods, you know, I grew up in East Texas in some regards. And so it's so different than Florida, but yet
South Florida.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. I mean, the north, you know, the Panhandle is extremely, I mean, night and day than South Florida, without a doubt. Yeah. But I just knew. I mean, I just had that gut. I mean, if the doctor would have said, "Yeah, just you could go, but be careful," I was gone. I'd been packed in an hour, and I so want. I mean, I can't. I'm going to say it so many times. Everybody in chat can tell me shut up, but
that was rough terrain, dude.
I knew it was so special. Well, yeah. I guess I'd have hung out at the pool with Pam, but
Pam was out there with us. They were, I mean, they had that mule, which helped.
Right.
That side by side, especially doing the filming. But you remember when we were at Copeland's and when I sit and we do the interview and I sit and take notes, shots I want to get, you know, what he's talking about, I want to shoot outside. So I'm writing these things down. There were 9 things. I found it. There were 9 things we shot outside. I had 23 on the list for Pam and Paul, and we shot them all and shot stuff in between that wasn't on the list. So it's a ton of stuff. And
that's a lot.
More than just the story. There's evidence that they found on the back of it. Tracks, tree breaks, where she talks about hearing a loud break right outside the window, driving out the next day and sees the tree laying over. We got all that on film. You know, all that stuff is just, it's the evidence to go along with what they've both seen. But she got a really good look, man. A terrifying look.
That one was close to her though, wasn't it? Wasn't it like what, 60 yards?
40
yards.
Measured it. Yeah, it looked like about 40 yards from where she was to where he was standing.
That's close.
Got that. I got the perspective from where he was. I got the perspective from where he was at the pool. And I did the little creepy behind the tree and back from behind the tree and behind the tree and back up from behind the tree. So, I'm sorry I had to do that. And then I got the shot from where she was, and Paul stood where he was. But you had to, it's so hard to see in there. I had him wave his arms, so you could definitely see where he was. But yeah, I think
that's a good shot, though. I mean, that just
well,
that
just
gives such good perspective.
When you hear her tell
where
it,
she was and where it was.
When you hear her tell it and you see her face, there may not be a dry in the house. She's that upset, and she's angry, is what she is. And Paul's none too happy either, because they don't know what to do. I wish I knew what to tell them what to do, other than document it as much as you can. Pay attention to what they're doing. If you can get some kind of pattern out of it, then I think you maybe could feel better about doing certain things. I'd like to see her get back in her swing. Well,
don't they have? Aren't you talking about like the movement lights that are solar? Because those are you see ads for them all the time, and you see them like at Home Depot, you know, where you can put it in a tree, and if the sun hits it and then movement hits it, you know, they pop on, or you know, around the house, or
yeah, they've got some solar lights.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. No, this is infrared. So we can't see it, but it shoots an infrared beam. It's just like infrared floodlights. It's for night vision CCTV. So if they ever got night vision CCTV, they'd have that infrared light lit up to be able to see. So we're going to do that just to see what it does. You know, at least make them feel better, some peace of mind, you know, around the house.
Exactly. Because that's what they say. If you put out game cameras, theoretically, They don't like that. But the cool thing is getting the recorders out there.
Yeah.
Since this is a chatty crew.
Yeah. Get them a recorder. They can just turn it on and set it out there and turn it on anytime they want. And then all they got to do is bring it in, get the card, find the parts they want, download those parts onto their computer, and document and save in a file, whatever the date is. Howl, strange, multiple knocks. I got several knocks recorded that are like double. Like,
didn't you say they were like super loud?
Some of them are, yeah, but they're consistent. That's why I don't think they're knocking. I think they're doing it with their mouth.
The tongue pop. I can't even do it right
Look,
now.
I know people that can do that extremely loud. There's no reason for us to think that they couldn't do that.
Oh, well, yeah,
and are doing that.
When I was a kid, I could do that really loud.
I can't do it.
I can't even hear myself when I'm doing it.
I don't even try.
Yeah,
but I think that's what they're doing. I don't think they would give away that motion, that to hit the swing, to give away. I think they're way too OCD to move very much at all, unless they absolutely have to. That's just what I think.
Well, didn't you also mention that they have house deer? And what I mean by that is like when Buddy Mine had a ranch in South Texas, we would feed the deer, and within the fence, they were house deer. Like we had 14 points in there and all sorts of stuff, but you could not shoot the house deer. And I remember you said that there were deer, just all over the place.
Yeah, every day, 2-3 times a day, they're coming up in the yard to browse, and they feed them. They just broadcast corn out there for them through the summer. And yeah, it's 8. As many as 8 is what we counted. 2 spotted fawns, 3 full grown, probably mama and her 2 babies, and then that last year's babies, and then this year's babies, and the year before. That's usually when they start to break away. The bucks do anyway.
Right. Did they say that the deer, will broadcast if they are around? Because you know how a deer will do that. Obviously the stranger danger.
That's not. I can't remember us talking about that. I've got so much to go through. There could have been that could have been mentioned, but I don't remember it. I was more focused on how their story was going to go in my head. The picture wise, because I already had the interviews inside. And when we were outside, if it got mentioned, I don't remember it.
I tell you, it's just, we're so fortunate that, we're able to tell their story. And it's such a, I basically want to say it's a blessing that they, trust us enough to do that. But, the awareness that this will put out there, and that's what it's all about. I mean, it's just a different story, different environment, different setting, terrain. It's, it's just sounds like it's the perfect, storm of a property that they would feel very comfortable, messing with them. Yeah. And
well, for us, this is the 3rd one,
right,
in almost 7 weeks that we've shot. So we have a lot to put together. It's time to put the brakes on and start putting together what we've got and not getting too far away from it.
Right.
I don't want to get too far away from Crypto Reality's Odyssey. I got that card today. It's on. It's going to be done. I'm going to say a week, as long as my computer cooperates. And it has been, so it should be good.
Well, that will be.
I filmed this, so it's short clips.
Oh, what the Pam and Paul's? Or
all of them. I filmed all these. So my clips are short, 1 to 2 minutes. That's it. And you hit record and hit it again. Yeah. Easier to upload a bunch of little small clips and deal with than one 45-minute clip. It's Japan neck.
Right. And breaking them up, it's so much easier. How long did you say this earlier? How long Pam and Paul lived there? Because they basically had a clear road all the way in.
They built that. They lived about 4 miles from there for a long time, but bought that property and built that house in 8 months. Back in 2016, they moved in. and have been having these things go on ever since. Miss Vicky wants to know how many do they think are on the property. I'll tell you
Good
right
question.
now, I think it's 5. I think it's 5 in a family group that visits regularly, and I think it could be maybe more than that sometimes. But the reason I say 5 is because that's how many I heard yelling all around me. That was yells. There is no doubt. Whoops. I couldn't believe I was hearing whoops. I was beside myself. I didn't even think to hit record on the camera. It wasn't even on until I saw Pam. And I was like, "Oh, the camera," and turned it on and caught the last one. Thank God I got the last one.
Oh, that's.
And she heard 3 of them.
And then the tree.
Yeah. The tree fall. It was awfully coincidental.
Oh, yeah.
That huge tree fell right then when she hit that. And I think they were upset that we were out there while she was in the pool because they're used to watching her in her pool.
Yeah, keep a 357 in a sealed plastic bag in the pool.
Yeah, she keeps her pistol handy.
I'd imagine so. I would too.
There are big. They showed me a picture of a panther. It's only the second one I've ever seen that I, thought was real that someone didn't catch on National Geographic somewhere.
But
my cousin killed one in '86, and it was 4 feet long. We had 3-wheelers back then before the 4-wheeler became popular. '86 was the edge, but we had a 185S Honda 3-wheelers, and his tail was 4 feet long. His body was 4 feet long. It's humongous. And he shot it with a 223.
What? It wasn't a black panther. It was just a regular panther.
It was black. It was black. Yeah.
See, and in Central Texas, I used to hunt near a town called Strawn, and people would say black panthers in Texas, and everybody would say no, 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 not up that high. Nope. And I saw one on this place, and the 2 guys that were with me were arguing about beer or something like that, and it crossed right in front of us. And they didn't believe me at all until we saw the gas guy, and he goes, "Oh God, I've seen it 3 or 4 times." Just I think it's so rare that anybody gets a chance to see one because they just don't want to be seen. Oh, is that good still?
That stuff is terrible.
Oh, you're going to sleep good tonight.
But I mean, I can't taste. I don't know. I watered it down pretty good. So I just wanted to get the alcohol, free up this stuff.
Well, you're going to sleep like a rock.
I got a long drive tomorrow too. So
yes, you do.
But what's going to be cool is working on all this. That's what's going to be really just putting these 3 Odysseys together.
Well, they're also different and unique in their own way. It's just exciting. It's just, what a wonderful opportunity that I got to miss.
This is my therapist, Mr. John Schaefer. Says, are y'all pleased with the new gear's performance and the humidity? Let me tell you.
That's a good question.
The thermal. When Mark had his truck running and the air conditioner on and the thermal in it, when we got it out, it was cold on the outside. And it did something. We didn't lose anything. We got all that footage. But it wasn't acting right. There was a haze over it. You couldn't see really good. So, yeah, that's something you need to be careful with is what's the ambient temperature where your equipment's being stored. Mm-hmm. You don't want it too cold either, especially when you bring it out into the heat and the humidity that was there in Arkansas. Is why I'm probably sick right now. So, and we just tore ourselves down. We were so exhausted. That last day I just looked at Mark and I said, "Look, man, we're here. let's get as much as we can. Let's shoot for one more day and one more night, and let's just and look. You know how I am with the paranormal stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to say that's what this is, but we experienced it, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't a bug. There's just no way it was a regular firefly, lightning bug. You know how they do. They're not built for speed. And we're in the back, and we're halfway up one side of the hill, but across you can see the entire hill from the base to the top, and it's 400 yards long.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing, when I first saw it, it was amber, and it was bright, and it shot to the left in a blue streak and was out, and that was it. And Pam saw it too. It was way up the hill. I was like, "Did you see that?" She said, "Yeah." And I get thinking about her telling me stories about the light coming up to the window with a tail. But do you guys hear that? So, yeah.
That's.
So I got the camera pointed that way. I recorded all this. This thing would pulse like quick, like doom, 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 but zooming down the hill like a drone.
See, that is.
Do a loop, flash, loop, go out. Can't see it. A minute later, you see it going up through the trees, weaving through, pulsing up trees, and then back down that side of the cutover, and then up in front of us, 80 feet away. It flashed up. You could see the woods lit up around it, and then it went out, and we could see it every now and then. It would flash. Something would flash. But that was it. That's all there was. There were no others around.
But see, that's so cool that you got to see that, because I would not
have on camera. We filmed it.
Oh, see, that's just insane. I mean, when we saw the orbit down in Florida with Newbill, who's sending me goofy texts, by the way, and Barry Browning and Stevie and Russell, I never would have believed it. And I don't want to say I wouldn't have believed it. I would have gone, oh, I'd like to see one. But you know how you just don't know until you know. And I think that's so cool to have.
I don't know what that was. I hope it was a bug.
Oh,
there's Pam and Paul. There's Pam and Paul right there.
Thank you.
We wish you could have been here too.
Oh, it just crushed me. I was so grumpy, and I couldn't watch it, and I was just, I was not happy.
Do you know who this is? H.G. Williams. That's Ern Harvick.
Really?
Yeah, Mr. Williams.
Black
Good to see you, sir.
So
I live not too far from Strong. Black Panthers are here. Seen one myself. See,
well, there you go. Back up in the Palo Pinto Mountains. That little.
It's not just us. They're around, and people say they come up from South America. That they're leopards or not leopards, but jaguars.
Yeah.
I think leopards are somewhere else.
And I mean, everybody says you got your mountain lions, and they're.
Yeah,
but they're well known.
But even the one that my cousin killed, you could see the spots. They were really faint, but it had spots. So it's a jaguar, I guess. They're just black.
It's just so rare to see them. And I think
I've never seen one other than dead or in a picture. That Paul had a picture of one, but you should see the picture of the tracks. That's gonna get you. That he got in the wintertime. Yes, right down there on their property. Bare footprints, and you can tell this is not anything human. It's human-like. There's no divergent. Right. There's no divergent toe, like an ape, and it's 10 inches, maybe between 8 and 10, maybe 11, and then another one that's much bigger, but that had gotten rained in, but you can still see it. It's right beside the other. That water, it was beside the water. Water had flowed in the other one, I think, and not the one which you could see the toes perfectly in. But I got all that stuff. You'll get to see it.
I tell you, it just makes you wonder that whole area where they live. And I mean, the obvious question, are the other neighbors seeing it? And if so, will they talk, or are they just going to be silent, or you just never know. But I tell you what, that's just, the activity there is just, I knew y'all were it was going to be a grand slam. I mean, y'all were just going to knock it out of the park.
Well, like I said, man, I expected it. So, and I'm glad I did.
Oh,
I just
so
went
glad
off
you
what they
did.
said, and all we did. And she called me today, and it was a really good call. It was how appreciative they were that we came, and I mean, what am I going to say? We are the ones that are
Yeah.
thankful.
I mean, what a, as I said, a blessing that they invited.
This story is going to do so much. It just is. When you guys hear it, and everything that's going on, it's just
Well, and we'll
it's
have
going to
them
do a
on
lot.
next Friday.
Yes, you will get to meet them and talk to them and get to hear from them next Friday. Tammy Hampton, Kerry, we're so excited to see all the evidence you guys found. Glad you were able to get a lot. Me too. Because, we had to really work for it at Donnie's, and we lost all our thermal footage. Mark's sitting there filming something in the creek bed, and all of a sudden our thermal goes out.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, you told me that. Yeah.
But all the interference we got on the
Hmm.
meters in South Florida and in the Panhandle, zero at Pam and Paul's, none
That's
at
interesting.
any time. The ambient, there was it would go up to one, and like 0.03 point to 0.1 was the electromagnetic energy, but the RF was zero all the way across.
Even with the orb or whatever it was.
Yeah, we had to go nuts one night, but it was because it was from my phone because
Oh,
we were streaming. Mark was like, "Dude, it just." As soon as we went live, he said, "Dude, this thing just went nuts."
oh, is that when you had the truck lights on?
Yeah, but we
Because
debunked that.
I caught that part, and then I was like, can't watch it because won't be able to go to sleep. I'll be too pissed. Just can't do it. And I just know I can't when I'm not there. I can't watch it.
Well, I will tell you, I did feel a little uneasy that night after I heard that vocalization down the
Hmm.
hill, right where they got the thermals. But while they were down there, Pam and I are up back of my truck. All I could think of was they're watching us right now from over this hill, and we can't see them. That's what I was thinking. It's like they're down there with the thermal, and they're up here watching us. We don't have anything, so we got to get
Did you
another
ever
one.
get the squirrely feeling? You know,
A couple
like
times, yeah, a couple times. Like I said, when I did the walk with Paul, you know,
3
uh,
a.m. I mean, that's
yeah,
I mean, that's just you're just gonna get it. I would get it. I mean, which doesn't mean anything. I mean, 3 a.m, middle of the woods. You know, your mind. I mean, your mind is going to go, and it's just natural.
yeah. Mark scoured that place while I was shooting the Odyssey. He was all over that place, and I was over for 2 days all over it with him that
And
last
then
day.
poor Mark had to drive. How long was
Six,
the drive for him
16 and a half.
from Pam and Paul's?
Yeah.
What was it?
I left the same time he did, and I was home. And then 4.5 hours later, I was doing the show, and he was still driving. He probably had 2 more hours left, but he did. He made it, and he finally texted me this morning and said he made it. So he came in and apparently died. He said, "Man, I don't know how I made it." Because he was sitting on, he just kind of looked down and noticed that he was down past E and the light was on. He was like, "Oh," and he had like 23 miles left to go
Oh,
and made it. Somehow he
literal fumes.
coasted into the service station. But those little trucks have a 5 gallon reserve. Usually, once you get down, the light comes on, you got about 5 gallons.
I thought you were going to say he was getting the scary sleepy driving like when I
No,
got it 3
I don't
a.m.
guess
in
he did.
Louisiana.
That is scary, though. You're definitely
Oh,
looking for a Love's parking lot or a rest area. Or
oh,
I pulled over right in the middle of Dallas because I thought I was going to kill myself and somebody else. I've done that a couple times. Just pull
oh.
on over.
I
Turn the
dove
blink.
coming back from Florida. I caught myself dozing for I only think it was a couple seconds, but I immediately called Mary and I said, "You got to talk to me until I can find a rest area." Because I mean that that scared me. I mean, that really scared me.
Good rule of thumb. I was going out for a hitch, and I was in a company truck. When you pull over, if you have to pull over on the side of the highway or something, just turn your blinker on and leave your right blinker on. Because if you turn your flashers on, the cops are going to show up.
Right.
Every time. So if you pull over to sleep and the cops show up, yeah, I got searched, and I just made it through Dallas on Fort Worth on I-20 and was pulled over in one of those trucks, and they pulled out everything I had. I was late for my hitch because
Did they really?
Yep, had it all strode out. They were being real
thorough.
Yeah, that male appendages is what they were being.
Yeah, no, I thought
took
thorough was a
sobriety
better way to
test.
say
I blew in their thing, and yeah, I was like, oh, I'm just
when we pulled over and
tired. That's all it is.
Well, you and Barry and myself, when we pulled over on the on ramp for what was it, an hour, 2 hours, maybe. It was like I don't remember. I think we just cut everything off, and it felt like right when I went to sleep, you were banging on the window. Let's go. Kidding me? I just fell asleep, and I can't sleep in trucks.
Power nap, man. You just gotta learn. You gotta learn how to do it.
And all you need is an hour. Just that
I've been doing it.
nap.
I've been doing it for a long time. But
I know you're not going to sleep in a tent. You're going to sleep in that truck.
Can't do it yet, man. I won't sleep. That's just it. Now, if I wanted to have some interaction or whatever, then I would go get in a tent and just kind of lay there and wait and have the camera on and just maybe talking to the camera or whatever and see what showed up. I would do that, but not to sleep. No, I need the metal and the glass and the air. That's why I like having a diesel. You can idle that thing all night. It won't hurt it.
Well, I had 3 or 4 fans, those battery fans in my tent.
Yeah, blowing around hot air.
Well, it actually wasn't bad, but I also had the sound machine on my phone going. But at least with that fan going,
on air mattress.
Air was on an air mattress. The air was moving. Remember, it was the tent that all you had to do was undo the Velcro and.
I still have one here. I know you gave yours to.
Well, no, you took mine.
Oh yeah,
because that one got ripped.
Yeah, because
it couldn't be put back together.
Chris tried to take mine apart.
And it was that you fold it or whatever.
Yeah, you just take and fold it. That's it, and it goes in a round thing. Yeah, it's neat. You just take it and throw it, and it's up, and you just take it down. That's it.
Well, that's like the air
right
mattress.
up my alley.
Well, the air mattress you just plug into the outlet in the truck, and God, that thing was comfortable.
Yep.
You did not want to get up once you.
But it's just a 3-man tent, and that mattress was so big.
It took up the whole tent.
Yeah, you're halfway to the roof.
Well, but when you sit down in it, it's like you're almost like on the old 70s version waterbeds. You're just it's just hard to get up.
Get a slow leak. Leak, and it's terrible.
We diverge.
If you guys ask questions, I really haven't been looking a whole lot, so I apologize if we missed you.
Well, I know you need to get some sleep.
Yeah, I gotta get some rest and get ready to leave tomorrow. So, what did I have? Oh, that was Ern Harvick. Good to see you, Mr. Williams. It's good to see all of you guys. We'll be back probably Wednesday. Yeah, be here Wednesday with Brandon and his close-up encounter. I heard his story on B Moss.
That'll be good.
What is her channel? Oh, I can't think of it right now. Just put in B Moss and it should come up. You'll see it. But you need to go check out her channel for sure. But we're gonna have her on the show sometime too. I can't remember when we booked her for, but I'll have to check and see. But next Friday night, Pam and Paul. That's gonna be a good one.
No, that's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to that. How was the conference, by the way?
I was pretty cool. Got to see a lot of people there that Gary and Tom. Sorry I didn't see you guys. I had the shirts. I ended up giving them to Cam Butner. But if y'all will email me, I'll send you some more. Sorry, I just saw this. Chris Slager said, you guys need to go film where I grew up down in the bottoms in Southwest Arkansas. You show us where.
Oh, that's
Chris,
the spooky area.
show us where.
That's Boggy Creek.
Where them Falcons are.
Yeah.
Some Falcon bookers.
There's
3
Joe
toes
Miller
and stuff. Inbred. 3 toes.
Yeah, the ones that stick their hand through the bathroom window.
Yeah, those. I met that guy, actually, that was in that suit.
We're getting spammed right now.
We
getting
are
spammed. Yeah.
Oh, we getting spammed. All right. Well,
no, we're getting bots or whatever.
Love chat. We got some pretty awesome cashews here.
Oh, they'll get popped.
She'll run them down. She's relentless.
And we appreciate that so much.
100%.
Yeah, trolls, not spam. Trolls. Right? Am I showing my age with spam?
We're gonna roll on out of here anyway. Y'all have a good evening. Love you guys.
Thank you guys.
See you Sunday with Jackie and Daniela. But I'll be back Wednesday, and Brad and I'll be back next week.
Everybody be careful.
Y'all have a good one.